Good afternoon, Mr. Jeff here from the American Kempo Leadership Academy in Hudson, Massachusetts. I got great responses and attention from using my home practice area last night with my children. So I decided that I wanted to use it around this time in the afternoon to give you an idea of how I practice as a grown-up in my space when the kids aren't around or when they're doing their own thing or at virtually any time of the day. I personally, when I practice, I do it every moment I have an urge to do some type of a movement and study some type of emotion, or do a particular stretch or exercise. If I'm feeling a pain somewhere in my body, I just do it. So I have several practice areas. This is the main practice area because of the space. I also have outdoor places where I do practice and bring some students for one-on-one sessions under normal circumstances. So I'll be broadcasting out of all of those areas, even with these live videos, because I want you to get an idea of the arena that you'll be training in, even if you're doing virtual training with me, just like this, where we're meeting online. I'll still be in all of these places, not just out of our studio in Hudson, Massachusetts. But you can try the program out for free for 2 weeks or more, depending on where you're calling from and your situation. Please give us a call if you think this is going to work for you. Let's get started. The weather is getting nice, so you can open the window, have some good fresh air while you're in your house, and we'll go over some basic stuff and get you started. The first lesson is one-on-one. It takes about 30 minutes, and we go over all of the details, and then we go over your goals and our scheduling, and we try to work it out for you so that way you can experience how the program works online. I look forward to meeting you. So let's get started today with the practice area. Typically, you want it to be somewhere where you're not going to be bumping into a bunch of things, right? It's a big, wide open area where I can do lots of movement because typically we're stepping back and stepping forward a lot, maybe even a couple of times. So you want to be able to take a few steps back and forward, even at different angles. You want to be able to move around adequately. However, some of my practice areas that you see in the future are very small and tight. In fact, if you go back the Sunday before Easter or the Sunday before that, within the last couple of weeks, I put out a video of me doing a movement in a form in one of my practice areas that happens to be in my kitchen. And you can see how I had to adapt what I was doing to things that I would be bumping into. Okay, but I wasn't getting distracted during the form and looking. I knew the environment, so as I moved, I can feel where I was in that environment. See? So you have to kind of assess that. But typically, if you're able to get a space where you can physically lay down and have space in two different directions, this way and this way, right? Then you're doing good. But right next to your bed, right next to your couch, somewhere where you can actually use that for its purpose, right? Today, I'm going to sit up against the couch, and I'm going to bring my feet in like so. And as soon as I do that, I find my sit bones. Those are the ones that allow you to sit up nice and tall like so, with little to no pain. Depending on your floor, you might need a cushion, a blanket, something to go underneath. That's okay. Find a comfort level that works for you. Now, as I'm sitting up, this allows me to sit like so, but with using a little bit less pressure, relying a little bit less on my body to hold me up while I'm learning the position. It allows me to relax parts of my body that maybe I wouldn't be able to at first. Now I can feel a stretch in here, and I can feel it here. And as soon as I start to slouch, I can't really do it that much, right? I can now force it, but I also have stability back there. Okay. You can see a side view here. If I wasn't on it, I would be slouching immediately and my back would be rounding, which is okay if you're doing a stretch for that. That's fine. But the couch is good. Now this is good to do when you're watching movies, TV, maybe you're working. We have a little table in our house that we use as a family. And some of you might think this is silly, but some of you might think this is also kind of genius, right? I used the little kid's table. Now give me a second and I'll show you. Now from here, I have some type of a device that I might be doing work on or homework. So as I'm practicing, I can sit right up against the couch like so, and I can put my feet together. Now I'm doing my stretching, my practice, and my work all at the same time. Now some of you might even have adjustable tables or step stools that are even smaller than this. Well, I have one of those as well. I use the family ottoman. And this is cool because I have little leverage points too on the sides where I can actually get a deeper stretch than maybe I'm able to at first at the beginning of the day. See? And it's a little lower than the table, as you can see. Now sometimes I'll have both or a bunch of things set up. So that way if I'm reaching around, I'll do one thing here, then I'll go this way. Then maybe I'll have a snack, a healthy snack, or some water over here. Okay? So I make every movement kind of a multitasking movement, but in such a simple way that I'm keeping myself realistically focused on a few different things. Getting work done, yes, because I'm working or studying from home, but at the same time, getting physical movement that I wouldn't normally get under whatever you consider to be normal circumstances. Now, I was always the type of individual in my customer service jobs and other jobs where I had to sit still and do the work all day long. I would do stuff like this anyways. Sometimes I'd stand up at the computer desk and be typing, right? Now, this whole time I've been sitting like this. Now I can change it. I'm working on my front kicks, which allows me to really work the nerves in the back of the leg, to learn the form that the leg and the foot need to get into and relax in order to engage specific muscles in the legs. Now at this point I can bring my computer down low as I'm working like so. Most computers are adjustable today, so if I need to I could do this. All right, you can make it into a tablet. Now this is a toy computer, but you get the point. Right from here, okay? Even the toy computer turns into a tablet. If you watch certain shows, well, I'm going to watch it like this today. And then once I feel the movement here, this is kind of like lifting weights almost. Now I'll bring it this way. And I'll switch sides. So these are the types of things that I encourage our students to do while they're stuck at home, and finding a way to balance their practice with their homework, now homework as in from school or parents and adults that are stuck home. My adult students, I'll encourage you to do this as well. In fact, in order for our adult students to earn their white belt, they actually have to create the practice area, and they have to make a list of goals that they want to achieve over the next couple of weeks of trying out our program, which includes learning different exercises. And we put the adults through the very same schedule that the kids go through. So from the moment you wake up to the moment you eat lunch, to the moment you eat dinner, and the moment you go to sleep, right? Those are the major things that happen every day for most people. Everything in between there, you have tasks and certain things that you need to get done. And we help you to place your practice and your physical exercise and your healthy choices in between all of those important things, so that way you don't lose progress and you continue to develop yourself in a positive and a healthy manner. Right? Now, let's say I need a break from sitting still and doing all this work. Well, it's part of the workout. I just move the things aside that I'm not going to use. And then I get into physical movement. In my case, sometimes I use these sticks when I'm training. Our martial arts students also get into this type of training. But this allows me to have a little bit of weight in my hands, but also just work some movements. So when I'm doing this, I'm working my stance, but I'm also working motion with my arms. Okay? And with the physical resistance that it takes to let the stick do the moving, I'm working all of the support muscles of this motion here. Okay? It could be a block, it could be a strike, okay? Using my hand in some fashion, or it can go this way. Okay? Now those of you who are training in all of these methods, you can immediately see what I'm referencing here. People that are new to this, don't worry too much about the details. Just focus on how I'm moving in my living room right now, and I have sticks in my hands, which is pretty cool. Now I could do this, say, with weights in my hands. Maybe they're a little heavier. In this case, I have a TV remote, right? But we'll call it a weight. See? I can hold the weight in my hand. All right? It doesn't matter what I have in my hand. I'm still doing the motion. I'm just physically moving. Now, of course, you have to be careful on how you use some of the power that are in these moves if you have neighbors, right? And absolutely, you gotta make sure your device doesn't fall. Now for beginners, maybe go into what we're already working on. Just get into your neutral bow. Stepping forward and putting the hands up. Front hand is high, rear hand is low. Just start off. Make sure you have adequate space in between your feet. And the nice thing about having a rug is you can kind of slide without hurting your feet, but you're also building a little bit of callus in your feet. Because you never know where you might have to move on a surface quickly. Yeah. All right, this is my practice area. I hope you enjoyed that. Somebody asked me about my uniform. Whenever I'm at my home, this is my home training uniform. This is the one that I use when I'm doing home training. So I still wear my uniform when I practice at home. But we'll get into my reasons for that as to why on a different day. I have to get to the studio so we can do our online classes. I look forward to meeting anybody who's interested in trying our program out. You have a safe and healthy day.